Double upload Matt in the building. What's good, y'all? Hope you having a blessed day. And hey, you already know, anytime we double upload on this channel, you gotta leave a like. I do not make the rules, I just enforce them. So I'm sorry, but you gotta drop a like. And it's gonna be a very interesting video. So without further ado, let's dive straight into it. I'm feeling good today. Matter of fact, let me change that. I'm feeling great, man. That's what we're about on this channel. And before we get into it, I just want to say this quick little thing. I know I don't say it a lot, but I mean this with all my heart. Just thank you guys so much for supporting me. We've been grinding on this channel. We upload daily. It's been an amazing grind, and I'm going to keep grinding, road to 100K. So if you're new, hit that subscribe button, join the family, and leave a like for more. You do not want to miss out and not be one of those first 100,000 subscribers, because we're going to hit it very soon. So yeah, let's get straight into the video. As we all know, the high school basketball season is about to start, and it's coming up pretty quickly. I believe, if I'm not wrong, I read this somewhere, but Mikey Williams' team is supposed to play in a week or two. And it's also just been announced that Sierra Canyon's going to be playing in a big showcase tournament type of thing in a month. So even with all this crazy stuff we're going through in the world right now, it looks like high school basketball is going to happen. Now with all that being said, I've had this video idea in my mind for a while now, but I wanted to make it right before the season. And the reason for that is because there's a lot of tension between these two guys, and the race for the #1 spot is pretty close. And you know exactly what I'm referring to. I'm talking about Mikey Williams and DJ Wagner. Where do I even start with these two? They've had beef for a while now. Let's do a brief and very quick run through of what's all happened. First things first, when the new ESPN rankings came out roughly 4 to 5 months ago, Mikey absolutely flipped out. And the reason for him flipping out was because he thought he was going to be #1, but it was actually DJ. And it only took him 2 to 3 days to go on Instagram Live and call out DJ Wagner. I made a video on it, so you can go check it out, but long story short, he went on Instagram Live and said he's been dodging him and running for smoke for a long time now. Apparently there was this whole beef where Mikey was trying to schedule DJ's team in AAU, but his team just kept running from him. And that's all there really is to it. Mikey called him out and said he was ducking smoke and he was coming for him. I'm not gonna say Mikey handled this in the best way, but I'm not too mad at him about it. He was mad he didn't get the #1 spot, and he should be. He averaged 29.9 points per game as a freshman on varsity. And he didn't really say nothing out of line, he just called him out and said he was coming for that spot. And ever since all that's happened, that's basically it, and we really haven't heard too much about them. I know what you're probably sitting there wondering, yo, what did DJ have to say about Mikey calling him out? And he didn't say a word. Wagner's the fan favorite. Everyone loves this guy for one simple reason, and that reason is that he's very humble. He goes out there, handles his business, doesn't do any trash talking, and he doesn't post anything on social media either. Okay, so basically you have cocky, average, and humble, and I think DJ is below humble because he just doesn't do anything online or in person. The best way I can describe him is, like I said, he's a businessman. He's all about his business, whether that's on or off the court. I'm saying all that to lead up to my main point in this video. I just had to give you the break run through of what we're about to talk about. I think you understand what we're about to talk about. The race for #1 is between two players, and there's no question about it. It's DJ Wagner and Mikey Williams. Whether you hate Mikey or hate DJ and you're team Mikey or team DJ, there's one thing you can't lie about. The race for the #1 spot is very close. Normally in high school basketball, the gap between the #1 overall player and the #2 overall player isn't big, but it's not even close. But for these two players, it's a little different. Yes, of course, when they play this season and the season gets underway, we can kind of tell who's going to be the better overall player. But as for now, we can't go off of who we think's going to wind up being better. We can only go off of what we've previously seen. And with the season right around the corner, I think this is the perfect time for this video. And whether you like DJ better or Mikey better, please do not be biased. Just keep an open mind and listen to what I gotta say. The race is so close between these two guys because they're more similar than we think. Both of them are roughly 6'2" to 6'3", and they're both point guards. And as of right now, Mikey's a little more on the buff side and DJ's more on the skinny side, but that's not that big of a deal. They'll fill out their bodies later in their career. I don't think numbers mean everything, but they also don't lie, and you gotta look at them sometimes, so that's what we're gonna look at. Last year, Mikey Williams averaged exactly 29.9 points per game, 4.9 rebounds, and 6.7 rebounds. Whether you hate this guy or not, you gotta admit that's very impressive. On the flip side, Wagner averaged exactly 18.6 points per night, and he also pitched in roughly 4 to 5 assists and 5 to 6 rebounds. When you're looking at their assists per game, it's very similar, but I think we can all agree the playmaking side definitely goes to DJ. With that being said though, as much as I love DJ's skill set, for now the scoring edge has gotta go to Mikey. He dropped 77 in one game. He's proven he's a straight up scorer, and he's got that killer mentality. Keep in mind we're basing this off of last year. All this can change in this up and coming season. I haven't really seen DJ have that killer mentality or look in his eye DJ, and I haven't seen him take over a game quite yet. So when you're talking about who's the better pure scorer and just bucket getter, I think we can all agree it's Mikey. I don't think rebounding is its own category. I would put that in there with hustle and heart and passion. Who plays harder, who hustles more during the game, and who goes 100%. That's one thing I absolutely love with DJ. He seems like an all-around great teammate and he never slows down. Mikey tends to slack off here and there and not focus on defense a lot, but I gotta give him the benefit of the doubt because he does a lot on the offensive end. When you're expected to score 30 to 35 points every night, you gotta take a break on defense. I don't care who you are. As for who's a better teammate, who hustles more, I think you're gonna be quick to say, oh, that's DJ Wagner, but pump the brakes. I just want you to think about this real quick before you think DJ is the better teammate. Are you sure you would turn down an opportunity to play with Mikey Williams? This kid's an absolute dog and he's a guy you want fighting on your team. He's not gonna back down from anyone and we all know that. He's got that NBA YoungBoy mentality. And if we're keeping it 100, I think he has earbuds in sometime and he's just listening to his music. He's gonna go to war for you, and honestly, in my personal opinion, that's my type of teammate. I think both players are excellent teammates and a lot of people are gonna be quick to say they'd rather have DJ Wagner, but I wouldn't sleep on having Mikey. Next up, and probably the most important part of this video, we're gonna talk about the skill sets. Mikey can shoot, dribble, do pull-up mid-ranges, and he can absolutely fly. My dude is throwing down dunks that are ridiculous and some college players can't even do. He's what I would like to call a straight-up athlete and he's very talented. Also, when the cameras aren't on, he's putting in a lot of work behind the scenes and you can see that in his jump shot. Let's flip the script and talk about DJ though. I wouldn't consider him an athletic freak, but he's up there. He's athletic enough. He's not a flashy player, but he's gonna get the job done. I've said it twice and I'm gonna say it again. He's a straight up businessman. He's not gonna do those flashy plays like Mikey had those flashy dunks and get the crowd involved. He's a very fundamental player. He's not gonna have many turnovers and he's not gonna lose you the game. He's gonna do every single thing the coach asks him to do and probably a little more. And if that wasn't enough for you, just listen to this. When you're talking about skill set, a lot of people think it's shooting and dribbling and that's it. And you can also throw passing in, but it doesn't just stop there. DJ's footwork and the way he can maneuver in and out of the defense through transition is insane. He's the best high school player I've ever seen do that. He can finish through traffic and it looks like he's playing in slow motion. The reason DJ's ranked #1 right now is for this very simple reason. The game comes so slow to him. If you're a hooper, not a hooper, but a hooper or even a hoopiest, whatever you want to call it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know how when you was in middle school or even a freshman on varsity, the game seems really fast to you and just high paced? You really can't be efficient there because things are going too fast for you, but when that game starts to slow down, that's when you can really take over. And for DJ, not only is it slow to him, but it looks slow watching his highlights. My guy looks like he's straight up moonwalking out there and playing in slow motion. I also need to throw this in there. I think the game comes slow to Mikey, but he plays at such a high pace, we don't even see it. He's a high intensity, ferocious, and a very exciting player. He's just gonna get you hyped. I hate to say this, but I don't know another way to say it. DJ's game is kind of boring. However, even though it is boring, it ain't boring, but compared to Mikey's it's boring, it is very efficient. Mikey's efficient, but I don't think he's as efficient as DJ Wagner. I think when you're talking about an overall skill set, right now I think Mikey has a slight edge, but in the future, and that's what all these NBA scouts are looking at and what these rankings are based off of, DJ has a higher potential. Or not higher potential, probably a higher ceiling. That's a better way to say it. I don't think Mikey's peaked just yet, but I feel like he's almost at his capacity. I think that's what a lot of these recruiters are paying attention to and basing their rankings off of. Mikey's a star, there's no other way to say it, and I just don't know how much better he can actually get. The reason I think a lot of people have DJ at 1 is for this solid reason. DJ and Mikey are neck and neck. I mean, however you want to say it, maybe DJ's better at shooting, Mikey's better at jumping, or blah 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 blah. Here's the main difference and what separates them, and I gotta agree with this. And this is the scary, and I mean scary part about DJ, and I cannot emphasize this enough. The difference between them two, and this is the only difference in what separates them, is that DJ is already great and one of the top players in the country, and I don't even feel like he's fully tapped into his potential, or not even fully, or gotten halfway into it. On a scale 1 to 10, I feel like Mikey's already at 8 or 9 on his potential, but for DJ, I only feel like he's at a 4 or 5. He's going to continue to grow, get bigger, stronger, faster, and quicker, and that's what's scary. When you're talking about NBA prospects, not high school prospects or college stars, NBA prospects, DJ's that guy. He has that body build, he has that frame. For Mikey, I just really don't see it right now. Let me change change that before I get killed in the comments. I'm not saying Mikey's not going to be an NBA star. I'm just saying if I had to pick one, I'm rolling with DJ. All in all, and with that being said, I know what you're sitting there thinking, yo Matt, who you rolling with and who's your best player right now? As of right now, when I'm making this video, it could change, but as for right now, this is where I stand. If I had to pick one player right now, I'm rolling with Mikey. I think Mikey is the #1 player in the country right now. But do not run to the comment section and let me finish my sentence. Although I think Mikey is better right now, I think ultimately and in the long run, DJ Wagner is going to be the better player. And that's why I think a lot of these ESPN rankings and other rankings have him at #1 just because he hasn't even tapped into that potential. These recruiters and recruiting websites or whatever you want to call them, they just try to predict how good these players are going to be. They don't really base them off of how good they are now. And if you think I'm wrong, just look at this. Bronny averaged 6 points per game last year and he's ranked in the top 30. They're not basing him off of what he's done, they're basing him off of what he's going to do and what they project him to do. There's your answer though. Right now, I got Mikey, but in the long run, I got DJ. And as always, and the purpose of this video, I want to know who you rolling with. You team Mikey or you team DJ? Let me know in the comment section. But hey man, as always, that's about gonna wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something. If you're new to the channel, what are you doing? Join the family, hit that subscribe button, and leave a like for more. And as always, let's be great. I'm out, y'all. Peace.